Excuse me.
Volcanic and Ensembles are really marvelous.
Volcanic?
Well, you know, hot, dangerous.
You have any class today?
Well, I don't know if I'm emotionally ready.
I'll go for it. It's virtually painless.
Excuse me. On this particular movie, we've got a great costume designer by the name of Marilyn Vance, who gave everybody a tremendous amount of help on their characters. I mean, she worked with the actors on the costumes, but she already had a really strong idea of what was going to happen with them, and she helped me tremendously. I mean, I sort of pictured my character a lot darker and a lot more, sort of a leather jacket sort of tough type, which I'm not really a leather jacket tough type.
Yeah, Marilyn Vance, costume designer. I had known her. She did a music video with me for Billy Joel. She was instrumental in creating a look for this. Now, John Hughes also had a lot of input into it because he was so close to the production. He kept saying, like, it's got to be the next thing. It's got to be the new thing. It's got to be. And Marilyn went out with Molly and John and whoever the actors were to go cherry pick everything on a personal level for that.
So I really, really liked Howie Deutsch. And Howie and John had a kind of, they were synchronized. And I just love it because I'm reading John's script. The movie was already filmed in my head because it was so there, the characterizations.
She was very ignited by the project. She loved the kids. They loved her. And they would go out and spend endless hours in flea markets or thrift shops or places where they could find stuff that was unique to their personality or express what they were trying to go for.
I remain now and will always be a duck man.
Ducky wearing those white shoes that he did to the prom, or his hats, or his entire ensemble was his identity. And same with Molly. All the great things she found, all the different combinations that she put together, which cost a tenth of what the girls who had money spent. Pretty much projected to the audience what you could do if you really had the talent and the taste to do it. And I think that's part of the reason they liked her and identified with her and wanted to be her.
Let me see this outfit. Is this your latest creation?
Uh-huh. That's it.
God, what did that cost you?
The clothes, I love. I mean, I think that they're really funky and they're fun, and Marilyn picked out some fantastic vintage pieces. I mean, clothes that I still actually wear to this day. I still have that black sweater with the dragon on it. I have the blue little cardigan with the applique flowers, and I love my clothes in this movie.
So, do you want to go home and change?
I don't like this. I already did.
Sorry.
She shows up at the party and they're all running around in their little skirts and their sweaters and, and Molly is there in her gray patterned outfit with her long pearls and, her little lace thing over it. And she looked thrift store, but at the same time, she had an elegance about her. And that was what carried this character.
Where'd you get your clothes? 5 and dime store?
I ran around to all the cheaper stores at the time for the rich kids, by the way. The rich kids came out of Kmart. All those ice cream colors and the shorts and the little
Excuse me once again.
The socks and the look. I did it as cheaply as possible, and they looked fresh, and that was their thing.
This is a holster with it's a little scaled down gun, doesn't shoot anything in particular. The great thing about this is our costume designer, Vivian Vance. That was Ethel Mertz. No, Marilyn Vance, our costume designer, is wonderfully idiosyncratic, and she knows that she wants crazy things, so she gets crazy stuff. I mean, it's really, this is a bike chain, and what's funny is all this stuff, I mean, it looks like it costs nothing. It looks like she bought it from a thrift shop. This is all so expensive. I mean, that's movies. Movies can make things look really cheap, which I think is one of their great virtues.
Just took license with Ducky, with the hat, with the card, and his Army insignias on his sport jacket. Just changed a little straight-looking, preppy jacket into something a little upbeat. And that's how I dressed him. It was the same thing, by cutting off, putting suspenders on, and giving him a sloppy shirt with a pattern, fighting the patterns. He was great.
It's a lot of fun to look like that. Of course, it's not a lot of fun to get seen like that when you're on location with hundreds of young female extras who are laughing hysterically at your outfit. Um, then it gets to be a little less fun, but they never said this was a glamour gig to begin with.
He initially, I think he went, what? He was laughing. I think it scared him at first. Come on, you know, a young guy. He's a kid. He comes on, he sees this wardrobe that I have planned for him, and I think he got really, like, a little weirded out.
Her whole thing was, you know, let's just put things together that should never, ever be put together. And that worked, you know, it really succeeded. He was that guy. In fact, you know, people have parties and dress like Ducky, and, you know, and it's insane to me. A big problem with the Ducky shoes was they were too small. We found 2 pairs at a resale store in LA, and both of them were too small. So my feet would literally tear through them. And if you see in the scene of the record store where I'm doing the big dance number, there's shots of my feet shuffling. I literally shuffled out of my shoes. I mean, the tops would just rip and have to be repaired after each take. And man, it was painful. But you know, they sort of said who he was, so they were important to wear.
First time the audience sees Iona, she is dressed in what I hope looks like on screen, which is what it really was, is a rubber suit. I hope it looks like a rubber suit because the thing was so uncomfortable. If it doesn't look like rubber, if it looks like shiny rayon, I'm going to kill myself because it was like wearing like an industrial strength rubber band on my whole body. The rubber dress was very difficult, and every time that black dress was literally made out of rubber. It looked really great, but it was very difficult to walk in. It was quite tight down here, so that it was like a workout. Like, you know, you see people in the gym who have those rubber bands, you know, that they do. The whole dress was like that. So walking was a challenge.
I had to cut the t-shirt out of the back so she'd have the back opening, and just in the front you'd see a t-shirt with that. We powdered that dress and slipped her into it.
And I remember I'd have to like flip it up and and release my lower body from the struggle of that dress every once in a while. But I did think in the end it looked real good.
I love this dress. It's a great dress.
It was so much fun.
Excuse me once
Everybody
again.
loves to put on a wig and a lot of eyeliner and a rubber dress every once in a while.
Iona? Hi, honey. I'm in here. Back in the restaurant. Laugh and I'll deck you. What happened?
The last view of her, she's clothed in much tamer stuff. She looks like an extra from Dynasty, personally. Certainly more normal stuff, if an extra from Dynasty looks normal. But I think that'll be perceived by a lot of people as that's going to look more mainstream and normal. But I would like to propose, and it was my vision of her, that her end costume is in her view, probably stranger than the others. Of course, she herself at the end looked like she was going to go straight. I looked at that today and I thought, oh, surely that didn't last.